I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Well, people, we are now gearing up for the 4 Republican horsemen of the apocalypse to run for president, as they all try to out-Trump Trump. A front-runner is emerging, a demon from the depths of Republican hell that can make the damage sweet potato Hitler did to this great country look like a Walmart parking lot door ding. And that front-runner is Ron DeSantis, a mad hatter of a human being, now on his second term as governor of a state that is kind of nutty. What has Ron DeSantis done since being elected as leader of our methiest state? A state that invents new crime on the daily, including face eating. Remember when Ronnie D. lured Venezuelan migrants onto planes, promised them housing, jobs, and then dumped them on Martha's Vineyard? Because as Jesus said, and this is a quote, "Do not befriend the stranger, lie to him, and then send his border crossing ass to Martha's Vineyard to own the libs." Exodus 12:22-18. Hut, hut, hut! At first, declaring COVID serious and then declaring a lockdown, DeSantis then threw out all science, even though Ronnie D himself got vaccinated. Then he opened up everything in Florida. No mask mandates, withheld payroll of school board members for wearing masks at meetings. Then he held a press conference with a guy who claimed COVID vaccines change your DNA. They don't. Then he offered unvaccinated cops $5,000 to relocate to Florida. Can I see your license? In September of 21, his Surgeon General recommended that healthy children not get vaccinated, despite the CDC and American Academy of Pediatrics advising them to get vaccinated. Then he backed a study that men between the ages of 18 and 39 not be vaccinated. Florida's COVID death rate was number 1 that summer. So DeSantis leapt into action to fix having the number 1 death rate. And he stopped reporting COVID death rate. In fact, for 3 months in 21, they reported nothing, no deaths. It seems DeSantis runs Florida like a lot of red states. La 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 la. So, DeSantis got more people killed due to COVID. He's number 1 when it comes to that. He hates when brown people vote. DeSantis signed a crap load of laws limiting drop boxes, vote by mail, and making it so you can't get food or water while waiting on long lines to vote. No water in line in Florida? And a judge found these laws unconstitutional and especially discriminatory towards minorities. That's a quote. DeSantis then created the Office of Election Crimes and Security. So Orwellian. And tasking with investigating alleged voter fraud. People, no voter fraud's been proven at all. I take that back. Most of it was Republican people using their dead relatives' ballots to vote. He signed the Stop Woke Act, which restricts talking about race. Talking about race. You know, like free speech.
Freedom lives here in our great sunshine state of Florida.
In schools and in private businesses. Private businesses! Yeah, free speech, but shut the hell up! The law allows students and workers to sue if they believe a classroom lesson or a training course made them feel guilty, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress due to my race. That sounds kind of snowflakey, doesn't it? Yeah, if you talk about slavery, I may feel guilt about how I want to bring back slavery. You hurt my feelings. He said it's wrong to teach that America was built on stolen land. So I guess we're just squatting on the heads of Native Americans. In November, DeSantis eliminated Medicare C for transgender care and barred transgender girls from competing in sports. By the way, there's like 4 trans athletes in Florida. Good use of laws and leadership, huh? DeSantis said trans children should not be allowed to wear clothes or use pronouns or names that align with their gender identity. Again, free speech.
Freedom lives here.
The Don't Say Gay bill, DeSantis says if a student is asked to draw a picture of their family in school and the child draws their 2 daddies and he shares that drawing in class, a parent could sue the school. And the kid just drew his own real family.
Freedom lives here.
Disney went against DeSantis on this, and I love him for that. So he pulled Disney's ownership of a community in Florida, saving Disney billions and costing Florida taxpayers billions.
Freedom.
He made the Special Olympics drop their vaccine mandate. You know, for kids with pre-existing conditions. He pulled back abortion rights. He gave no exceptions for rape or incest. In Florida? When the inbred problem is critical there. Alabama can barely handle the overflow. And he made it legal for people to drive their cars into protesters if they're peacefully protesting. Yeah, that's a law in Florida. And this is a partial list of DeSantis horrors. So it seems the GOP is going from a dumb psycho to a smart psycho. A man who hasn't saved Floridians a dime, but has scared them with gay people, trans people, minorities, and told them science doesn't work while they die in record numbers. And the weird part for the GOP is DeSantis is an upgrade. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God, how much further are we just going to go down the well of stupid and evil, man? And I know it's Florida. It's not the only question, but holy crap, DeSantis? Jesus Christ. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
There could be only one. I have... decided, as we did before the election, in about 2 years before the election when Trump started running, that we started doing Armageddon updates about him. And now DeSantis is obviously he's going to run. And DeSantis is way worse than Trump.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because you know what? Because Trump was a goofball. He just would say whatever thing. DeSantis went to Harvard and he's got a degree and he was a lawyer for like the SEALs. He was a lawyer for the SEAls. Like he's smart. And
I'm sure this isn't a George Santos situation.
I know, man. He's done a lot of stuff. He was in Congress.
I do just want to throw this out because we were waiting for this. The House Ethics Committee, I can't speak, has filed or started an investigation against George Santos as of today.
Great. Also a sexual assault thing where he basically went after somebody.
So how many lies do you need before somebody, 1,000 lies before that?
On the Democratic side,
what's the cutoff?
On the Democratic side, you just need a picture of a guy faking to grab someone's boobs on a plane. You're out.
And then being honest about it.
Republicans, on the other hand, I think you need a body and video of the guy stabbing the body.
And with a bunch of documents.
And even then, it's not their fault.
It would be the liberal media.
No, he was standing his ground.
He was standing his. I was going to say, we have a lot of
That's
bodies.
how that works. That's why I hate the both side things, because it seems like I think Democrats are so knee jerk. Oh my God, you're a horrible person. We can't. And then the right doesn't give a shit at all. Literally, could walk in with a severed hand. What?
Yeah. In a Klan hood.
What you're talking about? We have Steve Scalise got shot.
Literally had a guy shoot him on a baseball field. It's like, nope, I'm still backing guns. Really?
Yeah,
dude,
we should not legislate guns at all.
Yeah, still.
He said that while he was healing from a gunshot wound.
I almost died, actually. So we were crazy. So DeSantis, as I go over what DeSantis did, it's funny because the Armageddon update, it was a 700-word one because it's only a partial list, and it's only a partial list. Like I went down everything from, if you remember, so COVID, first of all, he couldn't put on a mask. We remember that.
That was my favorite.
Then he said, COVID's serious. Let's do something. Then once he realized that wasn't politically okay, especially in Florida, he said, we're not going to have any mask mandates. Everything's open. Nothing's wrong. Florida had the highest death rate of COVID. So they did nothing, and it worked out exactly how it was expected to work out.
He seems to aggressively go after things that really don't need fixing. He just it's almost like he just wants to appeal to his base, get them riled up.
And really, that's so different than what the rest of them do.
Right. I know. But a different tactic.
It's not even that. Yes, it is exactly that. And it's also, it's all this shit that doesn't make any difference for people's lives. Yes. Gay people, we can't let gay people get married. We have to say, if you have a trans kid. Now, the way they're doing it right now, and I just found out because people going, California, you can get an operation. So I looked it up. No, you can't. You actually have to have parental consent. And then you have to go through and just to get that parental consent, even if you have that, you have to go to therapists. Everybody has to prove it. The doctors have to sign off on it. It's crazy. So you can't be a kid and just go get gender reaffirming service. You can't do it. Or whatever it's called. I don't know. Affirming. I don't know.
Gender affirming.
Okay. So here's my problem. So he talks about gay people, trans athletes, what else? Guns, COVID.
Science.
He actually was going literally
education.
Saying, if you wear a mask at a school board meeting, if you're on the school board, you're not getting paid. What?
Yep.
What if I have
race?
Yeah. It's, voting. He pulled voting laws against. Basically, it targeted brown. Actually, the court that sued them, the judge said this is basically going after blacks and minorities to stop their right to vote. And this is the guy that Gio's putting out. Like Mitt Romney's got to be like, what the fuck? Mitt Romney's got to go, you know what, guys? I get I'm a douchebag. I get that I have I'm a corporate raider who breaks things up and sells them. But at the end of the day, I still believe in America. It feels like nobody believes in America anymore. On the right.
I was just gonna wait and see if you breathed because it's fantastic. You get really cranked up sometimes when you write these because have you noticed that he cranks himself up and then it's a little. You got to let him unwind a little bit. You got to get it out. I don't think this one's out yet, though.
I knew
did you talk about it's in there.
I knew it was bad. I knew DeSantis was
Before we
bad.
could jump in.
Did you talk about the Stop Woke Act?
The Stop Woke Act. That's another Stop Woke. So you can't. And then Disney.
Okay, wait, let me just.
Hold on, there's a string.
The list is insane.
Hold on. He just signed this into law last April, which restricts conversations about race in schools and businesses and allows students and workers to sue if they believe a lesson or workplace training course caused them to, quote, feel guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress due to their race.
So if you go, wow, man, the George Floyd thing was crazy, man. I can't believe that those white cops did it. Like, oh my God, do you feel bad now because I'm white and now I'm gonna have to sue you. You can do that now. Here's the other one, the anti-gay stuff he passed. If a child in school draws a picture of his family and he happens to have two dads, if he draws that picture and another kid sees it, that's
Anguish.
like something.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It causes that kid trouble. The parents can now sue the school for letting a kid who just drew a picture about his family.
It really favors and enables a lot of straight white people to sue.
Yes.
Because it couldn't go the other way, really. It's
did all the Karens just roll into Florida? It just feels like people think this is okay.
Go by that nature, then a kid with two dads feel anguish by seeing a kid draw a mom and a dad.
Counselor, we have an attorney for you.
I'm just saying, does it go both ways or is that
no?
Okay,
no, it
we
definitely
need to
doesn't
read
go
the
both
fine
ways.
print.
No, because you're wrong.
Okay.
Because if you're gay, you're wrong.
He
That's
says it's wrong to teach students that the U.S. was built on stolen land because that flatly is not true.
That's right. We're squatters, as I said in the Armageddon update, squatting on the skulls of the Native Americans.
We also know, we talked about before, that he gutted the board of Florida College.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
I didn't even get to that. I didn't even get to that. I honestly, it was 700 words. I'm like, I got to stop. And I even said in the Armageddon update, it's a partial list. He actually says an AP college level courses on slavery can no longer be taught. He killed college level courses on just history. They're pulling books off the shelves. Look at this about all the books they're pulling off the shelves.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And teachers are afraid because of all these laws he passed, where if you pull a book, Huckleberry Finn, whatever, and somebody gets upset by that book, then they can sue the school.
In April 2021, he was very busy in April.
Wasn't he?
He signed an anti-riot bill into law that, among other things, grants civil immunity to people who decide to drive their cars into protesters who are blocking their way on a road.
Check. Talk about this in the Armageddon update. So you can now, but here's what I thought. I didn't talk about this in Armageddon. Okay, so there's a lot of white supremacists in protesting out there in Florida.
Oh yeah, this goes both ways.
They don't have to protest in Florida. They're
on the school board.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying that. So if there's a lot of
For drag shows, though,
people out there with swastikas, saying that the white race is in. What happened to your car? Well, you were blocking the way.
Yeah,
I had to go through. Oops.
Yeah,
like this guy is just a guy with a VW van. Bro, man, you were blocking the way. Law says I can run you over. Sorry.
Vanity Fair spoke with a former college roommate of his who, although praised his intelligence, which is what makes him more terrifying than Trump, described him as the most selfish person I have ever interacted with in my life. He always loved embarrassing and humiliating people. He was the biggest dick we knew.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm rooting for Trump.
That's what I said.
Right?
I don't need. Please don't say
that. The last line of the Armageddon update was like, even though DeSantis is bad, he's still an upgrade. He's weirdly still an upgrade. I don't think. Here's what I don't get, and this comes down to what I said last week. It's not DeSantis's fault. Listen, there's assholes all over this country. There's a lot of people in power that are just raging assholes. It's the voters' fault. If this is who you want representing you, who hates gay people who have nothing to do with your life, who hates trans people who have nothing to do with your life, who has the tendency to actually go after stopping black people from vote, which is not only just against everything America is, it's actually against the Constitution.
Well, it's reciprocal. It's like,
but my point is this: it's not DeSantis' fault. And I keep going after these people, and I guess we're not getting through to any of the voters who are like, I'm voting for him anyway. Well, then you're a moron. You're literally one of the dumbest anti-American human beings on the planet if you actually believe that guy's going to do something for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's your fault. It's not DeSantis' fault.
But they are, white supremacists at heart, right?
He's from Italian parents. Mom's Italian. He's second generation Italian.
Right, but
he's like not even like the Italians got messed with constantly. I don't get it.
But he's doing things either to rise up in power,
right,
and he's doing things for his base, and they are loving him for it.
But does anybody want to be part of a party that just preaches hate?
Yes.
God, that's so sad.
A lot of people. About 50%.
I grew up in California, though. I didn't grow up like that, man. I didn't grow up like that. And is the South?
He also went to Yale. He went to Yale, Harvard.
He's not elite, though.
In his second year at Harvard Law, he was commissioned as an officer in the U.S. Navy and assigned to JAG. He completed Naval Justice School there. I mean, he's legit. It's terrifying, actually. It's really terrifying. It's Trump, but with intellect,
with actual accomplishments, with actual a degree, went to real school, worked in the military. Yeah,
who puts in racist policies and without and sneakily. Like Trump would just say racist things.
Yeah, he did them anyway, though. Like, there's a couple things that came up against him, and they're like, "You can't do that." And he was like, "Okay, boom, signed it, put it in."
Right.
He also purchased. Let's go the other side. Let's just go to the dickhead side. The real. So he bought 3 private airplanes for Florida.
Yes, I saw that.
He bought 3 private jets for Florida for him and officials to fly around the state in.
That's correct.
And for all of his boots.
I don't see a problem. What's the problem?
That was taxpayer money.
Oh, that's a problem.
That's a problem. He wasn't.
They don't seem to care, though. Same with Trump. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. What is this bill that he just signed about bloggers? If a blogger posts to a blog about an elected state officer and receives compensation for that post, they now have to register with the appropriate office in Florida. He's really creating a lot of offices and officers in Florida, which is very Hitler reminiscent. Actually.
A lot of brown shirts.
So if you want to write about DeSantis,
like this podcast, if I was in Florida doing this podcast,
you would have to register within 5 days to this special agency that he's now forming and appointing people
to. Get this as Putin level crazy, right? This is Russia propaganda crazy.
Which is not as fun as it sounds.
Putin level. It's Putin level crazy. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But so the Ministry of Voter Election Fraud. It's even the name of it is
the
like
ministry,
really.
Oh god.
Yeah, we did a graphic.
It sounds like a Monty Python.
We did a graphic. It does. Election fraud and something. He started another. Everything is Orwell. It's like he almost got he's just opening up 1984 and just taking names literally from the book. It's
really hard to find anything about DeSantis because you just put a keyword and it's 7,000 different things that he did that people are pissed about. Did you talk about the migrant relocation?
The thing when he sent him to I did. That's what I was in there too.
He signed migrant relocation bill. He signed election fraud bills.
You know the funny thing about the migrant thing he did was sending those to Martha Vineyard. So as I was writing Armageddon, I was looking it up. All those people that got dumped in Martha's Vineyard. The people in Martha's Vineyard were like, "We're going to help you out. Here's jobs. Here's money."
Oh, yeah, I love that.
They gave him jobs. They gave him housing. They were like, it totally backfired.
Oh, you mean like what Christians would do?
Yeah, nobody got mad. Nobody would be like, "Oh my God, you guys are here. We'll help you."
Yeah.
And so he wanted to send him to go, "Oh, you take him. Yeah, you're going to hate him too." And they're like, "Oh no, we're here to help. All right, cool. Can we put the border up by New Hampshire?"
It's very confusing. I don't know. I've said this 10,000 times, but very confusing that people claim Christianity and then do these things. So blatantly do these things when there are so many verses in the Bible that they claim to stand on that say, like how you do to the least of these. And
befriend
being
the stranger.
a foreigner, because be kind to the foreigner because you were once a foreigner in your own land.
Which DeSantis was. His mom's from Italy.
It blows my mind. Especially I was just in North Carolina, and there are a lot of moments that come up for me where I'm just like, this does not make sense. What people are saying, it does not make sense.
Fake
and
moral
also fried chicken tenders are not healthy food.
We found a cool burrito place, though.
Of course you did. He found a place called
that should not be in North Carolina.
Burrito.
Yep.
And it is graffitied. The whole outside of the building is graffitied.
Does not fit in at all.
Grandma had never eaten there. She was like, I have no idea what that is. And the town is like 700 people or whatever.
Like
it's
jerk
tiny.
chicken burritos, like the coolest burritos
really
we had. It felt like a little bit. I said, if they have one of these in California, it would be packed.
Right.
But they're in North Carolina. They're like, this ain't a Hardee's. This ain't no Hardee's.
No, but you can head on down to the Bojangles to pick up. Oh, yeah. That's a place. You want to guess what you get there? Come on. You can guess.
Tap dancing lessons.
Fried catfish.
Fried chicken. What else would you get at a place called Bojangles?
I love that. I remember when members there was a place called it was a Denny's, but it was called Sambo's. Remember? Out in California, there was a place called Sambo's. Look it up. Sambo's restaurants. They closed it.
I don't want to put that in my search history.
Bojangles and Sambo's. Wait a minute, Rachel.
Okay, my uncle is here from New York.
Yep.
He also has
He's
never
gonna be
heard
a
of
guest
that.
on it.
Where
Sambo's.
was it?
It was like a Denny's. It was exactly like a Denny's, and it was called Sambo's
That
restaurant.
is really awkward even saying that out loud. Sambo's.
That sounds like a Smokey and the Bandit. Like,
there's a
come on
place
in, Sambo.
called Sambo's in Santa Barbara right now. That can't be.
No,
that's different.
Just put
Santa
Sambo's
Barbara
restaurants closed.
Decided to continue it. In 1979, Sambo's had 1,117 places in 47 states.
Yep.
Additional corporate decisions led to corporate demise. Okay.
Well, they tried to stand by the name.
Serve?
So it was the Denny's. It was like a Denny's. It was just like a Denny's. They rhymed breakfast food. Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity.
Turn into an IHOP?
No, I remember and this people talk about woke now. This was like in the early 80s.
Okay.
We all kind of went, guys, it's kind of fucked up that a place is named Sambo's, don't you think? And then, no, it's a history, it's tradition. No, we're going to close it. That's what the West Coast does.
Okay, well, it also means sandwich.
I was going to say, what is it?
And an archaic. And so Santa Barbara has now opened a place called Sambo's.
Oh, no.
I believe it's a sandwich place. It's unfortunate. But also, it's a sandwich or an archaic and taboo word for a black person.
So what the fuck? So here's the thing. On the sign, you have to put, no, we mean the sandwich. It's not an archaic term for black people. We mean the sandwich. That's in tiny print under the
I've never heard that. Wow. Never heard that.
Or
that
the
name.
offspring
Little Black Sambo.
Don't
you remember the story?
Stop saying it. Don't say it.
I'm just saying it was horrible to name the restaurant that. What do you mean? Making you, but so there was a thing where we all kind of woke up in the 80s.
It's gonna get flagged on YouTube.
No. In the 80s, we woke up to the fact that I remember it being on the news. Like people, like black people.
Did you know?
Yeah, black people in the 80s were protesting. They were like, guys, you can't name a restaurant Sambo's. But Bojangles still open.
Let's go see. I said that in my show. I added that in Denver, a town of 700 people, 800
and yet,
churches.
Cracker Barrel,
and
no one bitches. No one bitches about Cracker Barrel. Sorry, go ahead.
Totally just railroaded
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's fine.
So no finish. Sorry,
what was I looking up? Bojangles. Sorry. Oh, how many Bojangles there were?
I came up with brilliance, and I
was right in the middle of a joke. But it's fine, Ken.
I'm horrible.
Ken, it's fine.
Oh my God.
Bojangles restaurant. How many are there? Okay. Let's see. Because there's several there. 801 in 15 states. I could guess what those states are. It first started in North Carolina and Charlotte.
A lot of the shoeless sister dating states seem to have a Bojangles still.
Wow. Yeah, fried chicken and biscuits. That's what you get at Bojangles. Grandma does love their chicken and biscuit.
I apologize for interrupting you.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh, nice.
Well, because you're really funny, and I feel like we made the podcast. I made the podcast less funny, and I apologize.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm working on waiting. I'm working on my.
Hold hands. Oh,
Oh,
Kumbaya, my lord. Screw Ron DeSantis. So back to this. Back to this moron.
Ronald McFascist.
Dank Burrito. Go if you're in Morehead City.
Everybody, yeah, Dank Burrito's amazing. Everybody who has known him, even old aides and stuff, are saying like, yeah, he's really not the nicest guy. He's not a nice guy. I guess that's really not a surprise after what he's passed.
What I love is how they're eating each other, which sounds wrong. I didn't
Speaking
mean
of
that.
Trump and DeSantis, that's a horrible,
I have not had a
horrible
lot
porn
of sleep
search.
for 3.5 weeks.
Talk about a dank burrito.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, how they now are fighting like 13-year-old girls.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to girls, but they definitely fight differently than boys do. And Trump has made up a nickname for him, which I think is possibly one of his worst nicknames yet. Ron Sanctimonious.
Trump can't name rappers.
He's so bad.
Ron DeSanctimonious, which someone had to explain what sanctimonious
no idea.
meant
That's
to
what
Trump.
I just
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a writer, it was some aide went, hey, what if you call him Ron DeSanctimonious? Oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that
He's
mean?
also tried Meatball Ron, which is more Trump.
Which is, by the way, an Italian slur.
Seb Gorka has suggested Ron Destablishment. Hey, they're all so dumb. That's why you don't see a lot of Republican comedians.
Well, also, they're not sitting around working on policy. They go, we need a nickname for this moron.
Yeah.
We need a nickname all the time. Hey, what if we actually came up with something that helped the American people?
No.
Get out!
No, we need a wrestler name for him.
Yeah, we need a wrestler name. So here's, you said Trump, you told me this. Some Trump supporters showed up to DeSantis's rally, and DeSantis kicked them out. They had a security take them out.
There's a whole West Side Story showdown happening between the two.
I can't dance.
Just a lot of hats and flags on the ground.
People lying down.
No, it's people with oxygen, squeak, 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 rolling behind them.
So everyone's kind of panicked about DeSantis. I'm a little bit. I don't like the guy at all, but I know America, and touring for so long, I know there's no way 52% of the people are going to vote for this guy. I also believe the last election showed, whether it was Georgia or everywhere, that people really got. I think people have woken up to the fact that your vote does matter, even though it's one vote. And if you have to wait in line forever, that's another thing he did.
Thank you, Stacey Abrams.
But but he was the first guy. He actually imposed the no water or food being given out to people in line in Florida.
That was from Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
initially.
Yeah, yeah. So you can't give someone water while they're waiting to vote. It's for these people who wear the red, white, and who wear the American flag as cargo shorts, who are always claiming to be the most American. They use the word patriot literally like it's a talisman. These people are the least American people, and the least, as you just pointed out, the least religious. Like you can't claim to be a Christian and claim to be an American and then go against every tenet of both of those ideologies. You just can't do it, and yet they do all the time.
Now, if Ron DeSantis was smart, this is confusing. Why wouldn't he invite them into his rally and then convert them? Like that's what Obama would do. That's what a Biden would do. That's what.
No, you said this to me yesterday. We were talking.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. Yeah,
yeah. Why? Because you're just splitting the 35% that you can guarantee are going to show up for you.
They're already there.
You've just split it. You've just split it in half. Now, are they depending on that, whoever it is, whether it's Trump or DeSantis in the final against Biden or whoever, are they assuming that no matter what those I guess that's true.
They would be fine with either of those, I think.
I just think
your uncle actually told us that he because I sat and just asked him questions because it doesn't upset me. I don't like the answers, but I want to know why and what are you thinking?
Why are you so crazy?
No, I did not say that.
That's what you thought,
No.
though. That you thought
And
it.
he said that his ideal ticket would be Trump DeSantis, just completely negating that they hate each other and that
one
they're
of the guys
trashing each
tried
other.
to overthrow the country.
Well, other than that, I mean, I've moved past that. That's no big deal.
That's scary. Can we? Oh my God. Can we just cut that so nobody even gets that idea?
Wait,
But
no,
now-
they've
shit.
already talking about Trump,
No.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh yeah, supposedly
That's
he's
supposedly
considering
she's
it.
that's just-
getting groomed. No, supposedly she's getting groomed to be because she's really good at saying the craziest shit and people donate money. I think people don't have, because our education system sucks so bad, people aren't educated on how government works. So they think that whatever Marjorie Taylor Greene
Including
says,
her. Yeah.
that she's going to make that happen.
Mhm.
No, she's not. There's a whole
I'm
bunch of...
gonna build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. Yes.
You know what?
Mhm.
That's a good idea. I bet it. You know what? He's going to be president. He can make it happen.
And they have nothing else to bounce off of. They only get like Fox News, like, and that's it.
Speaking
and they
of-
have barely internet, and they,
Speaking
you
of
know,
which,
Speaking
Oh,
of which, this is awesome. So, as you said, they'll never say it. It'll never be on Fox News. But Rupert Murdoch, 95-year-old Rupert Murdoch, threw Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and what's her face, Laura Ingraham under the bus this
and
week.
Maria Bartolomeo.
Bartolomeo. But I thought he was like, well, the network doesn't really, support it, but all three of those hosts said those things, and I was like, because I kept wondering what is Murdoch going to say under oath, and he blamed them. I was awesome.
He said that they knowingly pushed false stolen election claims and that they tried to discourage them from it, but they didn't care. They were afraid of turning their base off because they were afraid that they would go to Newsmax or OAN or whatever. And so it's Frankenstein's monster.
Yep.
They created their monster and they have to feed it. And so they have to keep it to get all this, ad revenue.
Yep.
But I think at 95 or however old he is, that he just decided to burn it to the ground. What does he want? It's like he's dying. Does he want to leave his money to any of these assholes? Probably not. So just burn it down. It's a great way to go.
Well, someone said, why doesn't we don't have a law anymore? They can get away with it because there's no law anymore.
But also they're cable, right? No, Fox is not cable.
Fox is a network, but we had the fairness doctrine before Reagan killed it for Roger Ailes, by the way. They killed it for Roger Ailes specifically so Fox could do this. So we have state television in Fox, and they just basically say whatever they want. And for Murdoch to not stand behind his own network was really funny to me, to just sell out everybody that he pays. Like, I think Hannity makes $15 million or some crazy amount of money a year. Same with Laura Ingraham. And he just was like, yeah, they did it.
But the shitty part is that they're not going to change. That's going to have no impact. Right?
Well,
because they're not going to say it. They're not going to admit to
Fox isn't
it.
going to air that.
No.
So
Right.
they're not.
And that's all they're seeing.
What was interesting when we were talking to Uncle Dennis and Aunt Kathy, you did say to Uncle Dennis, you're only looking at one news outlet, and that's Fox. Later, he's a smart guy.
The next day.
Repeated it to me and said, you know what, Chris is right. I do only look at one news outlet.
Mhm.
So he had thought about that. Like, wait a minute, maybe but most people don't. They watch, especially Tucker Carlson right now.
Yep.
Oh.
And my uncle, who isn't a Trump supporter, he and I were just talking about that Tucker Carlson was a host on CNN.
Yep.
That grandma
Yeah.
used to watch him on CNN when Papa was alive. It's the
Yeah.
craziest thing, but he started hitting that bell and getting bananas, and now he's worth
When you
ton
said
of
that,
money.
that was one of the clearest ways. All these people that do this, you see them go right wing. Even some great comics, man. Corolla, Rogan. There's some guys that went they went to this crazy place.
Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore, and you know what it is? It's money. And here's the thing. Part of me goes, wow,
I would like to get that money.
I would like to have $100 million also.
Yeah.
I'd make to make $16 million a year like those. And then I thought, yeah, but then I have to, what's my soul worth? 16 million.
I was going to say,
you know what? I am not. I am not.
Yeah.
You know,
Dead silent,
I just, I did the math, and I'm in. By the way,
everybody knows this.
Welcome to the Democratic Armageddon update. The Democrats are destroying. No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
This episode brought to you by Trump NFTs. They are.
That. You know, it's funny. Of all the things he's done, I just was reading as I was doing the map for the Armageddon update. I was just reading that that's one of the things that pissed off Republicans, like his base. They even
how
they
much
got
he charged for it?
How much he charged was they didn't care about the shithole countries. They didn't care about all the horrible that he tried to scam them with these digital baseball cards of him dressed as a fighter pilot, and they were like, "Look, we're stupid, but we ain't this.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?"
And yet he said he sold out of them.
Well, so he got $226 million from his base when he to defend against the election. Remember that? I think what they did was you got to remember, it's all a grift. So
Yep.
Trump's all a grift.
Yep.
It's all a money laundering grift.
Mm-hmm.
So you put out these for $9. No one's gonna order a digital file for $99. Maybe there's 1,000, 10,000 people. Maybe he did 100,000, whatever he did. So you take that
Really?
$225 and you pay for
You
it.
could just screenshot them.
You take the
They did. Oh,
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You take the PAC, right? You take the PAC money
Yeah.
that he's got sitting there. That, by the way, has pretty much no rules on it.
Yeah.
And you just go, we're going to buy all the NFTs, and then that
Mhm.
money goes to Trump's bank account, and it's clean.
And wasn't it a
I
calculated
like that
amount?
you said it's clean, like we were in Breaking Bad.
Right.
They cleaned it. The money's clean.
But they purchased the NFTs. It all goes through. These political action committees purchased all the NFTs to help Donald Trump. They used the money from the PAC and go. I know.
Speaking of which, on a lighter note,
Yep.
the episode, the show Your Honor, which also stars Bryan Cranston, is most excellent. And
It's good. Brian's even good in an interview. I
he's
watched
good in
Brian. I've known Bryan Cranston for a long time, and I hung out with him a little bit. And I gotta tell you, I just watched an interview where he talked about MAGA. He just defined MAGA, and he does it in a way that, like me, that pisses people off. He just does it, and he just said he goes, make America great again. He goes, when exactly? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
He goes, when is so great again? Well, so black people are part of America, gay people are part of America. When has America ever been great for black people? And the host is kind of stunned. He goes, it's inherently racist. It's inherently racist, and that's not even being woke. He's right. When was America great for black people?
right.
It's not today either.
Yeah.
And so
That means Brian is now officially making enough money a year that it is fine to speak his mind. There's a dollar amount that you get to where you're like, you know what?
yeah, I don't have that.
Well, except for you.
Yeah, except for me.
You've been speaking your mind since 1960
and
something.
I'm broke because of it, but that's fine.
Speaking of not being broke anymore, this episode brought to you by HelloFresh.
Oh,
I forgot to pause HelloFresh while I was gone at Grandma's, and so it came because I didn't know if he would do it on his own.
I did.
Totally did. Made his own dinner.
I did. I had the meat. I had the meatloaf
Sandwich.
Meatloaf, horseradish base, and fries. Yeah, and it kind of looked like the picture.
You said he actually sent the picture next to the picture to Jet.
So I took a picture on the menu that they give you.
I
Right?
thought Jet and I both were like that. It looked, I was kind of shocked, not gonna lie. It looked just like it, but it's hard to screw up when they walk you through with pictures. You guys, you can scan the QR code or you can look at this giant full color card that step by step tells you how to do each step and then shows you a picture of
So
it.
let me just say, so I am not a avid cook. Let's leave it at that. And I grabbed it. You were gone. I'm like, we've got it here. If I don't eat it, it's going to go bad. I'm not bringing it to you because you'll just take it. And so, and so I
for no reason other than
I cooked it. I do it, and I cooked.
He did.
I got the oven, and I had the oven going and the stove going at the same time. Okay, here's what I learned about cooking, though.
That you don't know where anything is in the kitchen.
That's number one.
Okay.
And there may have been some substitutions.
Okay.
But I did find it eventually. But also that
Skittles.
like pay attention to the timing on the way they're telling. Don't skip around. Follow the direction
Don't
because
skip around. Okay, the steps are numbered.
I know, but maybe there was one I said, well, I can just do that now. No,
they're doing it so that everything's ready at once.
Yeah. That's why for many years I didn't look at the instructions on things. But then I followed it and it came out great.
Put the whole bag in the oven. And then
Okay, so HelloFresh, something else that I love about it is that they make it easier to do dietitian approved meals, especially if you're trying to have healthier diet. So now you can look for a dietitian when tag on the website. And that means those meals are under 700 calories and have 1/3 less sodium.
Yep.
I kind of love that. Also, it's seasonal, so you guys can go and it's ever changing. So every week they will pick 3 things. Well, 3 for us because we do 3 meals for 2 people. You can tailor it to you, and you can choose those or let them choose some of their best ones. And you can
double it for 4 people too.
You can do 4 people, which sometimes we've done. So we have leftovers that are already made because everything is so good. Also, if you're trying to power up your protein, which you are lately a lot, they have some items with protein smart tag, and that means that they have 30 grams or more of protein. So it's all whatever you want, they have it. We love this company, and it definitely makes your life easier and your meals less expensive.
Here's the thing. If I can cook it and it tasted amazing, I was by myself. There was no help.
We can stop there.
If I can cook it, and like you said, man,
that's
like all the seasoning and stuff, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave
Did you save extra?
No, I used it all.
Okay.
I'm not using
So because you skipped.
I'm older. My taste buds are dying. I need a little more location.
So go to HelloFresh.com/Titus60. Use promo code Titus60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Titus60 and use promo code Titus60. You get 60% off and free shipping. America's #1 meal kit.
People keep saying that Nikki Haley, who's already announced, she needs
to save her money.
I'm telling you, she's the one that worries me.
I don't think so. You said that. I don't think
there is a backlash coming in the GOP that you guys don't see. I'm starting to see it on the road. I'm starting to see audiences are kind of like they're tired. You have to admit, since Trump came down that escalator, it's been relentless.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying there's a shift towards the center?
I think there's a shift toward, so 2 things are happening. Number one, the economy keeps booming. Traffic has been so bad in LA and people go, that's horrible. I go, yeah, but it's the traffic. It's because the economy is booming. And no matter what they do, and inflation was coming down a little bit. It's going back up. Interest rates are going up. I think the Fed is making some mistakes. I think if they just leave it alone for a minute, it'll be okay. But here's what's going to happen. Because Biden's doing so well, even the people that were hardcore screw Biden, at one point, they're going, yeah, and they're doing this. Even from my relatives, a little bit. It's like, yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah.
I have not seen that. I don't know.
Yeah, Dennis was like, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, he wasn't happy about it, which is weird. I don't care. Listen, if a Republican was kicking ass and I was making more money, and I was like, all right, guys, everything's going well. What happened? I don't know. We got healthcare and I'm working, and he's just saying we worked it out, so it's working. And at one point, you have to admit it's working.
It seems like every day.
I haven't seen them admit it.
There's something in the news every day. Like, there was an accomplishment made here. Insulin's at $35. Oh, okay. Doesn't that help everybody?
Don't you remember during Trump and COVID and everything? Like when you just said that every day it's something, and I was thinking about when it was something new, and my phone would be next to me when I would wake up, and I would just grit my teeth and just steady myself and pull my phone up and look at whatever breaking news headline. That was relentless.
I have compared it over and over to every morning I pick up my phone and it was like cutting the red wire on a bomb.
Yes.
You didn't know what you were going to turn it on and just go, shit, and you were always right. You were always totally justified in being frightened. But you're right. Now we flip to where Biden, every day there's a new accomplishment, and people go, we're giving too much money to Ukraine. And I'm like, we give money to, they were attacked. I just don't get it. Like, do you want Russia to take Ukraine too? because Finland and Sweden are like, hey guys, can we please work on to join the UN? Okay, it's okay, everybody. Can we join that with you guys? Because it's right there.
Finland has
started
bad
building
memories.
A wall. They started building. They started building a. They started building a.
Do you want to go behind you and like do your hands while you
I would love to know how that would sound to people in Finland, because it was kind of your Canadian guy accent,
It was
and
a little
kind
Swedish.
of
Everybody away from
and kind
America.
of Swedish Muppet guy, and kind of your Fargo.
I'm looking really hard. I'm trying to find an accent I don't understand.
Okay.
Can
we hear it again? Are you?
How's everybody doing? By the way, here at Finland, want to say Russia, get away. We're joining the UN.
Okay.
And by the way, that was really
Yes.
That was the Muppet guy.
do
I
this
like
fresh
it.
ad with
No,
that?
HelloFresh would drop us. They'd be like, you guys can't advertise anymore.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen. I think Nikki Haley's dangerous because
Wouldn't you prefer her over
100%.
Okay.
She's the one who put down the Confederate flag. Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina. And I remember thinking at the time, I think she's more of a pragmatic Republican that she will do stuff I hate like Liz Cheney would, but I'm not going to worry about the country burning to the ground like DeSantis and Trump. You know, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd be like, I wouldn't wake up every morning like, The
problem is, I was saying this to you when I was in North Carolina, is that so many things are not black and white, right? Like the word abortion is such a trigger word for people on the right. And to understand it requires nuance. And that's what people are missing. So you're not just talking about killing babies. You're talking about a woman's right to choose what happens to her own body. You're talking about women who are posting videos on social media right now because they have a dead fetus inside of them. Or so, did you see that girl that just posted that video and she can't get help? And because it would be a DNC would be considered an abortion. And so they're requiring her to carry this baby to term. The woman in Louisiana with the baby that had no skull, and they wouldn't abort the baby. It's like, it requires nuance, and it requires understanding that things are not black and white, and looking into things and reading about them. And so many people are unwilling to do
researching
that.
and reading. Wow. They don't have that on that side.
I know.
They don't have that.
Well, I know. And we definitely have that over here too, but more so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I find this is what I find. I'm not saying across the board because I think that the extreme woke is like, it makes me insane. It's like, guys, you're wasting energy. All you're doing is giving these crazy people more fodder by you being crazy about, did you use my pronoun? We're not talking, man. Like, just shut up. Just shut up. I get it. Call yourself what you want. We're fine. There's nothing in me that is trying to, make you less, mock you, not give you what you want.
Yeah, this is new.
Yeah,
you just made this up. Exactly. We're like,
you guys, and there you go. You just made it up. You just made this up. Give us a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're trying to keep up.
And I'm not trying to say, Ante, if you want, we be called whatever you want. Like, I just don't understand. It's silly. Some of it's silly. Some of it's so silly.
It doesn't matter.
But
it's what my mom would call yang yang.
Yeah. And
it's
it gives
just yang yang.
And it gives these people on the right who won't talk about healthcare, who won't talk about gun control, who won't talk about stuff that would literally affect American lives. It gives them something to go, yeah, but what about this?
Yeah, it's a target. Yeah, they need like a scapegoat.
So we all need to just chill out and start focusing on solid core issues. And then I think what will happen is they will, like you said, they will eat each other on the Republican side. The next election will be such a rout. But then again, someone pointed out how old Biden's going to be, and that bothers me too. It's problematic. He's a good guy, and he's done his time. That man has done a lot for
every president ages in office, and he didn't have much to go. So
I can't tell.
It is like,
he just hit the wall
because he was already the crypt keeper when he got in.
He's already calling Jill nice lady.
He's got it together. I think he's still got it together. That speech he gave.
Speaking of keeping it together, this episode brought to you by Athletic Greens. Had this today, didn't have it when I was in North Carolina. Definitely noticed, asked you to bring me some actually, because it makes that much of a difference.
Life affirming.
My uncle Phillip is here and he likes vodka. And so it's not my fault. And so
Genetic.
You're predisposed.
Yeah, they're
predisposed
to vodka, yeah.
And well, you guys all know that I screamed at Grandma Jean last October that I like vodka.
Yeah.
And I told her that again this time, and my sister had just left the house, and she goes, "Well, apparently your sister does too." Because
Grandma dropped shade.
she does
man.
not miss a thing.
Yeah.
I had left a bottle of vodka behind. My sister had found it. I told my sister that, and she goes, "How did she know?" And I said, "Did you pour it in the can?" And she goes, "Shit, no, I made it in a glass." There's your first mistake. You got to pour it in a sparkling water can and keep it moving.
Right.
Anyway, so
That's Ken Titus style.
we
right there.
we had vodka last night, and today I woke up and I had a little bit of a headache, and I thought, oh, I'm at home now. I can have athletic greens. And I did. And it was a night and day difference after I had it.
Every time, it's such a good thing in the morning to have. Uncle Phillip actually got up we got our lemons. We use lemons, and I use some athletic greens and with lemon water, and it was amazing. And it tastes so good. It's not what it's that green drink you look at and go, that can't taste good, and then you taste it and you're like, this is awesome.
Tastes great and makes a noticeable difference. You guys know I started taking it because I wanted better gut health, but also because, especially now with what's going on in the world, better immune support. I want everything that I can get to keep me healthy and fight off whatever is going around, because it seems like everybody has something right now. And I don't like taking a bunch of pills every day, and this kind of has everything in one. So you put a scoop of the powder, water, shake it up, you're done.
And you also don't get that weird acidic feeling if you take too many pills. Once you take all those vitamins and whatever, you ever get that feeling in your stomach? You don't get that with athletic greens. I love it.
No, and I think it's probably the healthiest thing you could do for your body in less than a minute. So if you're lazy, like I have a tendency to be, try this.
Your hair looks amazing.
Well, it also helps with hair, skin, and nails. So there you go. See, like my nails. I get it also delivered every month, so I don't have to leave my house. So that's even a bonus. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D. That's the dropper bottle I've told you guys about, and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to athleticgreens.com/Titus. That's athleticgreens.com/Titus. Check it out.
All right, guys. So we are going to now have our family guest, Ken Highland. Thank you for being on for the first half.
Everyone.
And Ken is now going to run it. We have guests.
Are you going to do your fun fact at the end?
Yeah. You're coming back to fun fact. Well, I'll kick Uncle Phillip off too. I got no problem. I got no problem kicking Uncle Phillip off.
Can you kick me off from time to time?
You have to introduce. Come on. Why don't you introduce? Why don't you introduce?
Do I have to give him an intro?
Yeah, give him an intro.
Ladies and
don't sit down
gentlemen,
yet.
all the way from New York City. He's the byproduct of ancient 23andMe. Before Ancestry DNA existed, he hired a private detective and became my uncle. Ladies and gentlemen, Phillip.
Uncle Phillip. Yay!
I don't know. That was
good.
Thank you.
And true.
One person.
So we have it's an interesting story how you are the uncle, because you're honestly one of my favorite people, and we didn't know you till a few years ago.
Well, we've now known
7,
you
8?
No, longer than that. Now, because Mom's been gone. Mom was 10 years, so 16 years altogether, but really gotten to spend time with you when you stopped being so suspicious of us.
Of all of us.
Wait, was that my first wife or my second wife?
Second.
It was Julie, right?
you do realize that the way we've lived, like with parents and life, that like a lot of trust has been just sucked out of us.
So you guys may not know this, but Uncle Phillip is the person that you have repeated this many times, said to him in a diner when we first hung out with you, that because he went through a similar divorce, maybe worse, that if I had killed her, I'd be out by now.
The first time I met Uncle Phillip, so we were. I remember when we first got together. It was like, yeah, I'm your uncle. What? And I was like,
Jerry's, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was went to Jerry's Deli. We're sitting there, and I'm in the midst of the worst part of the divorce, and I've met this amazing woman who's with me, and she's like, let's go hang out with Uncle. So we go to Jerry's Deli down in LA. And he was telling me, and you were telling me about your divorce, which was brutal. And he said, "Oh, mine's lasted 13 years." And I'm like, and I was 2 years in at that. Yeah. I'm like, mine will never last exactly 13 years, which I'd maybe even you were like a gypsy and you like cursed me. And in the middle of,
I saved you. What are you talking
in the middle of breakfast, he goes, "It's been going on 13 years. If I'd have killed her, I'd be out by now." And he said it. What made me laugh the hardest is he was not kidding.
No,
he wasn't like a boob.
He's still like just nodding.
You're not really supposed to talk about that.
Stay on the mic. Get on the mic.
He doesn't have mic technique.
Yeah, I know.
What is interesting as well is that I will tell people that my uncle is Jewish. He lives in New York, and they'll say, "Oh, he converted to Judaism." I'm like, "No, my uncle is Jewish, and he lives in New York. He just found out recently that he's half redneck." Mm-hmm. So
I just found out that I'm partially Italian.
Oh, that's right.
True. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
I'm from
too.
Napoli.
Can we
49%.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did I tell you this?
Yeah, you said something that he found out he's Italian, and then we tried to figure out. So we got to tell this story a little bit.
Okay.
We got to tell this story. So you guys don't know what we're talking about. So before 23andMe and all these easy mail-in DNA stuff, Phillip, did you look or did Mom look for you?
No.
He was looking.
I hired somebody that I worked with. Their father was a retiring FBI agent. So I said, well, since he's retiring, I'll hire him to go find my mother. So
like you do.
Yeah, it was normal.
Like you
just
do.
Another day.
Because you were adopted. You knew you were adopted.
Exactly. So a week later, I got a dossier. And there were pictures of her house. And they apparently went.
Some people call that a folder, but okay.
Wait.
It was a dossier.
There were, so that quickly. And you
it was
had
a week,
pictures.
Literally a week.
Wow.
And so there were pictures of the house where she lived,
mm-hmm.
and he had gone up as an insurance salesman. And she came to the door, and he gave me all kinds of information. So let's see.
Because you knew, like, what did you have to give him? Were there adoption papers that you had?
You know, I don't remember. I had some kind of legal papers.
Okay.
My parents gave me very little. My adopted parents gave me very little information. And I don't remember what I had, but I knew I had the Morehead City thing.
Yeah.
And somehow whatever I'd given him, he like extrapolated that. And then suddenly it was like, and here's the dossier folder. The dossier
folder.
And
you just like saying dossier.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's very Donald Trump, right?
It's also a very kind of spy thing. It's like spy.
It is.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
So anyway, I contacted her, and she ended up coming up. This is my ex-wife at the time. My ex-wife and kids were away beach for the month, and she said, "I'll come up here with my husband and have dinner with you." So it was as a Jewish New Yorker. They came up. I took them to the local Italian restaurant. We all ordered martinis, and I went to pick up my drink, and there the two of them were praying. I was like, "Oh,
is Grandma and Papa?"
Uh-huh.
Yep. I was like,
but wait, they ordered martinis? That's where I'm stuck. Hold on.
They were, well, I only know what I ordered.
I was going to say, I know you ordered martinis.
I don't remember.
He was probably a couple in before the meeting too, because this is a big meeting.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
it was a big
3
meeting.
in now.
Yeah.
It was weird. And then, so we had dinner. It was very civilized. I took them back to their motel, and, we talked for like an hour maybe. And then I left. And then I called her a couple of weeks later, and she said, I'm the head of the Baptist church. I play the organ, and I'm also the backbone of the family, and I can't be talking to you. So that's the truth. You didn't know that?
So that didn't cause you any abandonment issues
I was fine.
whatsoever.
You've
totally really been fine.
Got it.
I had my morphine, and I was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was that. I was like, okay. Can I say fuck?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I said, fuck her.
It's a podcast.
Okay. So I said, fuck her. That's the end of it. So this was, I guess.
By the way, which is a really healthy, I'm sure that didn't grow a hate tumor in you at all.
No, I was fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
I get that you zened it and let it go.
Yeah, I did.
You just
I did.
I'm free now.
Exactly.
F her.
It made me deeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so then move ahead, like, I guess it was October. And I come home from work, and there's a message on my machine. Hi, I don't know if this is Phillip Gaynor's phone, but if so, this is Sharon Lawrence. Could you please call me back? So I don't know that she said, I think I'm your sister or something. It was something. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
What can of worms have I
scam
walked
artist,
God.
something. Yeah.
So.
But in that, during all of that, I thought it was the private detective contacted my mom's biological father, who she had not yet found yet. When she found him, when we first met him, he told us, "You have a brother." So this must have, I don't know how this all happened.
You're not talking about
Joe. What is he?
No, this is somebody else.
You.
But he wasn't my father.
No, but
there are a lot of fathers.
No, he's the one that told Mom that she had a brother. He had been contacted by the guy trying to find.
It was truthfully, it was Peggy Lou that gave it up.
He takes people's names in my family and
Mary
combines them.
No, it wasn't Mary Lou.
Peggy.
Peggy. It's Peggy.
You're not very good at being a redhead.
Not all people in the South, middle name is Lou. Just going to leave it at
Rachel
that.
Lou. Anyway.
So, Mom found out.
It's like not everybody in New York's doesn't have a nickname like, the Lurch, the Donut, Bobby Bag of Donuts. Not everybody has a middle name, so.
Bobby,
yeah, exactly.
So Mom found you, and that was Mom calling you.
Well, she apparently, there was a conversation between her and Peggy, and then she went into your grandmother's phone book and started searching for new entries, and she found me, and then she called and left a message.
What's great about this story is that, everybody, Mom has had issues too with abandonment issues. Not
Shocking
everything.
how that happens.
And when she found you, it was like you guys, what's the coolest thing, I mean, we were talking about this last night, is how you found, it was obvious you guys were related. It's obviously your brother and sister, which is it's really cool that you guys just hit it.
It was
like
mind-blowing, actually.
We talked about this last night over vodka because I said, what do you think about nature versus nurture? Because there are things that even like kind of mannerisms that you have, things that you love are so like Mom. And yet you guys
we
never
were totally connected.
Knew each other.
Yeah.
And it's so strange because she was so happy when she found him. But I thought if this were now, you would have just sent your DNA in and would have found all of your family instantly.
I've decided to do that finally. I'm going to do that.
We are begging him, except his father.
My dad drove around. My dad was a traveling salesman all the time in California. I know. I'm gonna bet. I'll bet $1,000 on it that I'm gonna have some people I am related to that I'm like, I
think Aunt Kathy said that, right?
Yeah,
she was like, oh,
Aunt Kathy was like, oh,
like the Midnight Rambler.
Kathy, you should do it. Then I go, Kathy, her dad slept with everybody, and she was like, oh, right.
That's probably true.
She got a little panicked. Dude.
Well, because since then, his son, my cousin, has done Ancestry DNA or 23, one of those.
He came up with this the other day. We were having dinner and he said, I've done some research. He's in private equity. So he did some research and he said, the lineage, I went to 23andMe. I got onto your account, which I hadn't used in years. And he said, you're actually 49% Italian. He said, your family is from Napoli. I thought it was from Greece. I don't even know. I'm from New York.
All I know is.
So he found like a distant relative of mine.
Right.
And he said, if we can trace the grandparents and get the paternal names, he said, I can come up with your father. Now, the ball was kind of dropped since then because I actually wrote a letter to this woman.
Yeah.
And she didn't respond.
Who would she have been?
I got to be honest.
She came up on 23andMe as a direct relative.
But you do get that out of the blue, 60 years later. You get a letter. Hey, by the way, someone in your family. No, you don't.
It's like when Sharon called me.
Because homeboy's got that guy's got a whole family of people. That, hey, by the way, we got somebody new. You guys all got a brother, and he's in 60, and so he's coming over Thanksgiving. We're good.
I'm now turning my cousin in who was sleeping with somebody.
I would love that.
Exactly.
Right?
Just imagine the history.
I just want to find family that likes me.
He was out of town.
Oh my God.
I just want to find family that likes me. I feel like this, we can't lose. We'll find.
We'll be fine.
Eventually we'll find someone.
We'll be fine.
It's a tight-knit group.
So
that's okay.
It really is. It's us. So when we got married, my wedding dress came 6 inches too short that I ordered.
I've rarely
seen. And the girl
can,
tried to tell me that was the fashion.
Can I? So women and guys, if you're going to get married, it's her day. Don't even try to make it your day. It's 100% hers. Deal with it that way. So that's what I was doing. I get a call. They go to go try wedding dresses on. You ordered one. You actually ordered one.
I ordered, waited, however, a year for it to come in.
How'd it fit, babe? Oh my God, we're floods.
Because the wedding was in, I think, 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah. And I now know that it takes 10 months or whatever to get a wedding dress. Right. And the girl keeps telling me, it's okay. I've seen it in magazines lately. Girls are wearing them really short around their mid shin. And I was like, once I realized they weren't going to fix it, I was like, oh my God. And mom says, I'll call Phillip.
It was cargo short wedding dress.
Let me call Phillip. So
it was a Hasidic wedding dress. You're supposed to wear tights.
So I learned that.
So Uncle Phillip's
except I don't know
fashion.
The words.
Uncle Phillip's in fashion, knows everybody in New York. So out of the blue, you call Uncle Phillip.
No, Mom did.
Mom did. That's right. Mom did.
He would do anything for Mom. And next thing I knew, I was going to Vera Wang in Beverly Hills, and I was escorted in immediately. They took me back. I had champagne. They were all gathering around me. I was trying on the dresses. Yeah.
And they want phone call. I got it.
Then finally,
excuse me, do you have vodka?
Yeah, exactly. I don't drink this shit.
Champagne.
So I'm in the dressing room, and the girl finally, the manager leans in and she goes, "Who are you?" And I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? She goes, Vera called here personally today and said we are to take care of you, rush your order, and give you 10% off. Who are you? She had never done that before, I guess, but
Vera doesn't give anybody a discount.
Trust me. I got 10% off.
That's
it
great.
Amounted to like $120,000 off. No, I'm just kidding.
And just so you know,
that's amazing.
It made her, that next month was, she was on cloud 9 about a wedding dress, by the way. And then it showed up and holy crap.
Yeah.
You look gorgeous.
It was like,
that dress. It's hard to put on.
I'm not in my own wedding photos. I'm in it. I'm there, but I want to, got my neck, I'm kissing her neck. And then
the ones I put up, it's me in the dress.
I know.
Yeah. And then there's
I stood in the house.
Her drinking champagne out of a bottle in the dress. And I'm in the distance, like on my little tiny head in the distance, looking at her like, holy crap, what did I do? And so I'm not in our wedding pictures a whole lot.
But you had, when Mom first met you, you had your own clothing company.
Yes, I did actually.
Which you lost because of 9/11, right?
That's correct. Everything. I bought the company I closed in June, I think, and September 11th happened 3 months later, and everything was in China, and all the orders got canceled because everybody in the United States, even if they weren't in New York, it was like, September 11th, and everything stopped. So.
Wow. So you lost.
And then he built it all up. Then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but he is such a pivot and try again.
Ass kicker.
Just keeps going and killing it. And I feel like everything you do works. And so even during the pandemic, I was like, how are you guys doing? We're trying to do shows. And he was like, oh, I'm doing PPP. I'm sourcing PPP now and getting it. It's on a ship. It's kind of like, what?
That's right.
Yes, another disaster.
That's the New York thing, though. It's like, I got something. What is trouble? Hey, let's make money off trouble.
Now, did you, being a New Yorker, what was the conversation around Donald Trump then?
For years, way back.
I mean, everybody knew Donald Trump. He was like the laughing stock of New York, and he was like he only wanted to be in society, and everybody, they ostracized him. He historically, when he built buildings, he would hire people like flooring people. And I had an Uber driver once who was really lovely Hispanic guy. And he said to me, my family worked for Donald Trump, and I can't remember which building, maybe it was Trump Tower. And we did all the flooring. And what happens once you're finished, he stiffs you, and then you have to sue. So the insurance company pays the insurance. So he always maintains his insurance policies, but that's why they settle. So that kind of was his ethos.
There's a story about one of the hotels in Atlantic City too, where a guy, the bid was $160,000 for the curtains or whatever it was. And the guy did the whole building, whatever it was. And he got paid $35,000 and they went, sue me. Right. And I just think, and that's the guy, it's so funny. That's what makes me laugh about Trump and DeSantis. Like, all these people, he's screwing over the working man, and yet they keep claiming that the working man
He's
seems
for
to
the
vote for these
working
guys.
man.
Yeah, again, I don't blame them. I don't blame the con men. The con men are doing what they do. I blame the people that back the con men, always.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it is a problem. He had 3,500 lawsuits at one point.
It's not shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about Roy Cohn the other night, like the most evil human being that ever lived. And,
Trump's dad's buddy.
And Jared Kushner's father.
Yep.
He, well, you know what happened with him? He caught his brother-in-law he lured him into I think it was a prostitute, took pictures of him and then threatened him. That's why, and he ended up going to jail for that.
Isn't he still in jail or he's out?
Oh, he's out. He's fine.
So was there much conversation around the Kushners in social circles in New York?
They were in New Jersey. They were in like an Orthodox wealthy family. They built like schools but the old man was terrible.
You're funny because my Aunt Julie and we were on the phone and we always kind of end up talking about politics, and George Santos came up, and what you guys were so offended at was what he referenced the school that he lied about going to.
Yeah.
You guys were like, it has never cost that amount.
He's like, my school was $6,000. He goes, the fuck are you talking about? Dude? That school. Here's how I know you're lying. You ain't even close. You ain't even close to how much that school costs.
That's what they were so offended at. They were like, I don't think
at least
so.
Lie the right number. For God's sakes.
He introduced his first bill today, by the way.
What was it?
On the floor. I don't know, but I just saw that. It was like shocking.
It's the bill. It's obvious. You can lie in Congress, Bill, and not get investigated, Bill.
House Ethics Committee cannot investigate sitting
ethics. Lack of ethics. That's the Ethics Committee. Now we're changing the name to the Let It Go Committee. Look the other way committee. And anybody in?
So I don't know if you know this, but he is going to a retreat this weekend. Can I say that?
Of course.
He joined this group because what is the suicide rate of men? This is an interesting.
75% of the suicides are men between 55. I think it's 45 and 60 or something like that.
Are you kidding?
No, that's true. Because it's like you get to a certain point and your kids are grown
and then it's over.
You have no life and sometimes
an ageism kicks in.
Exactly. And then they have nothing, or, emotionally they have nothing because they have no purpose anymore. So that's a huge thing. So one of the things we do in this group is support. I mean, it's an open forum for men to be able to communicate and emote openly.
What's the website? Yeah, right? Dude, I'm like, dude, so with you, man. So,
1-800-ASSISTED.
And let's talk about this for real, because there is a thing that men go through. We are taught from very young that you are supposed to be stoic and you're supposed to handle your business and get it done. Your emotions cannot be out of control. You have to be in charge. Your job is to provide. Your job is to handle it. Your job is to deal with it. And then you do that. You follow those rules. You do get some success. You make it. And then one day, all that success pays off in nothing.
Right.
Your kids go away. You've supported them. You've raised them. You paid all this money.
What's the point?
You get divorced. Yes, you get divorced maybe, and she takes half of everything you earned, whether she was part of it or not, and that's fine. Or even worse, half is fine. Half is fair, right? In a long-term marriage.
Yeah.
You get one like you.
70% is not like, no, I want all of it. I'm taking all of it. And then the court says yes. And then I get the reason men do this, the reason men get to this place where they become suicidal is because at the end of as you age out as a man, even if you've done everything right, they just go, thanks. And there's no, you don't know how to be emotional. You don't know how.
You can't have a relationship with your kids,
right? Because
you worked all the time.
Right, you worked all the time, yeah, and they're mad at you,
right?
And they're mad at you. Your ex-wife blames you, you or your current wife blames you.
Everybody blames you.
Everybody.
We're
as a man,
are you guys?
Yes, us white males. We are really good.
Well,
no. I'm not. It's not
Italian.
But even imagine this. So then let's tack on minorities on top of that. So then, if you're in a minority as a man, same thing. And I think I do. I'm not slick. I'm not complaining. My life is awesome. But when I hit as old as you are, I
may be 2 years younger than you.
Can we just say how many miles a day do you run?
Not every day.
Okay, how often and
But you do
how
10.
far?
Your normal run is 10 miles.
6 to 10 usually?
8, 9.
8 or 9.
Would be
And how many
How
pull-ups?
often a week?
When it's warmer, when
Yeah,
it's not
well,
20
New York,
degrees.
yeah.
3 times a week.
Okay.
How many pull-ups can you do?
45.
Shut up. He actually he cranks up 15, which is in the top 1% of males.
He's
Well, it's
at our
3
house,
sets,
got up
though.
I can do
got
so.
out, found the
3
gym
sets of 15.
today at
Yeah.
5:30 a.m. and was at the gym that he's never been to. Yeah.
I've never had a guest make me feel worse about myself at the house. Thank you, Uncle Phillip.
It's my
So,
pleasure.
but you were just saying yesterday, you were looking at yourself in the mirror and you said it is true what they say about men getting better looking as they get older. You were saying about yourself.
I've also gone to the gym. I'm going to the gym a lot more
Imagine
now.
being a woman where you lose your value once you hit what people consider middle age.
Yeah.
In business, in entertainment, especially, in everything.
In almost any business.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Once-
we were talking. So in the shower, we talked about this early about men.
you
know,
guys were in the shower?
And, no, I was in the shower.
Oh,
And you were in the
I was
bathroom
like-
with me, and I
I wasn't gonna ask
and
any
she was saying
questions.
Uncle Philip's going to this thing, and I said what I just said. I go,
Yeah.
men do have, we're expected a lot, and then I slowly, as she's getting through her hair, I see the steel start to form, like I'm complaining, and I go,
Oh, he was.
and
He was.
and then I said, "Oh, but women, by the way, have their cross to bear." I mean, and I started listing stuff, and then I said, "So we all have our troubles, right?" And you went, "Yeah." And then I patted you on the butt, and I walked out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
I got out clean. I got out clean.
So you guys all come from all over, wherever the retreat is, and it's just, and you do Zoom calls and stuff like that too. It's like guys
Normally.
being there for each other.
Correct. It's about showing up.
Got it.
Trust. It's confidential. It's like you can speak like your truth in this environment, and part of it is you have to make a commitment that it's confidential, that can't be repeated, and it's a safe space.
Do you get
I'd like to
how
be-
funny it is where I grew up and how some of my family is, and then to meet him, and he's, when we meet him, he's in fashion.
Yeah.
He's a Democrat. He drinks vodka.
I was actually a Republican.
He's
I
talking
was too.
about, everybody was. He's talking about a safe space so
Yeah.
men can emote. I'm like, this is the complete opposite of where I came from.
To get to this tonight, because I know we're going to get some people go, come on, Titus, quit whining. Chris Rock, part of his new special is this big chunk about what it means to be a man and what and
I
the
saw
stuff
that,
that
actually.
men have to deal with.
Well, the thing is that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be.
No,
We kind of
true.
said
I
this
agree
today.
with
If
that.
you suffer, that means I don't. People have to hear that experience and understand that it's separate.
it's just
it can be
100%.
because there are different societal expectations on men versus women,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they're very different, and they're equally shitty.
And there you go.
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
true.
They're equally
Which is
shitty.
why I like vodka.
There you go. And I think, yeah.
Speaking of which, I'll be going back to North Carolina this Sunday or
And I'm
Monday.
going the week after that.
And so I will be zooming in.
And
again.
Oh, I thought you were going to say intravenously.
I'll be zooming in too.
That's pretty much. I told Grandma. I told Grandma I was sitting next to her in a recliner, and Grandma's very ill. And I turned to her about 6:30 in the evening and said, "If I had lived here, I'd be an alcoholic by now." And it was like a slow turn to me, like, okay. So, all right, we got to go to dinner.
But
I got a
we
reservation.
love. I just want you to know, man. We love. You're one of my favorite people in our family, and I
No.
the same way.
You could have just not even You're one of our favorite people. Period.
True. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
but
we don't
you
even
know,
have to qualify that.
yeah, but I wanted the other family that listens to hear
No,
it.
shut up. And our aunt is
All right, we got to get
Yes.
to that thing with you guys. But thanks for being on the podcast, man, and thanks for telling us. And by the way, I'm gonna do 23andMe. I think there's another show.
Yes.
I think there's a new comedy special in me
Yes.
finding out the 23andMe.
And
And you know, my family was here. We trace it back. My family, the Tituses, were here in the 1600s,
Really?
and we were with the funny thing we were
he
talking
was
about is
very
that.
proud of this. He
And then
was
I
so
realized,
proud.
and as I'm proud of it, talking about it, I realized, but we don't own anything. We didn't start anything.
We've done
didn't-
nothing.
We have no factories. We don't own.
However-
We don't have a legacy.
We didn't come over on the
However,
Mayflower.
I think we drank.
Ken, you got to add this, but I found this picture the other day of a young Abraham Lincoln, and it freaked me out. That it's him. It's him. Look at the nose, everything.
It's not me.
Ken, you
Well,
got to
all right,
put
ready?
this up
Ready?
and
Ready?
let
I'll try-
people
I'll try.
say, But no, it is freakishly like him. And so maybe you guys did do something, but then your faction broke off.
We went party?
And
Where?
went party. And the Lincoln side, they did, those little
freed
things
the
they
slaves.
did.
I love that.
And
No
then
big
went
deal.
drinking.
Yeah,
it's funny.
exactly.
I love that you picked, his family are in 600. He may be related to Abraham Lincoln. You didn't get it. Trust me.
I would
We're
be
not
willing.
related to Abraham
Look,
Lincoln.
I'm going to bet you need to do 23andMe to find my brothers and sisters-in-law that I want to meet.
Shannon's
And
going to be so
an
mad.
ancestry thing to trace. Somebody needs to trace it back. I want to see if this is.
Well, once Kathy found out I was in 1600, it really interested me. I'm like, really? The Tituses were here? That we were here before it was a
She said that?
country. She traced it, and Kathy traced it back. She actually went and got to the thing,
That's how he found
Ancestry.com.
out that he's been.
And I
here.
was like, and I was so proud up until I realized, and we got nothing to show for it. We got absolutely nothing. We came here when it was you could just walk in. What do you own? Oklahoma, Nevada's mine, and we nothing.
They were drunk. It's fine.
Yeah, they were.
They were drunk.
You take it. Go ahead. Nah, you take it. I don't want Minnesota. It's cold as shit. All right, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
He's
All
kicking
right, and now
you
it's
off
been
now.
Ken Highland back for the fun
All
facts.
right.
Thanks, Uncle Phillip.
Thank you.
Ken Highland, and now it's time for Ken Highland's fun facts. Fun facts. It's time for Highlanders fun facts.
Oh,
It's always
You guys
it's
really
never good.
Sharded the bed on
It's
that.
never-
That
oh, we
was-
sharded
that
every
was
year.
not good.
All right, give it to me.
Let's do it as a trivia.
Okay.
What is the smallest country in the world? Smallest country in the world.
Indonesia.
The Vatican. What?
Oh shit!
Dang.
Shit!
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very good.
Didn't even think of that.
It was Disneyland or Disney World. But
But Santa's ended it.
Yeah.
How do you listen? One more thing about DeSantis. How the hell do you start effing with Disneyland?
Yeah, the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
But
Come
also,
on.
so what happened was, and I covered this thing. So here's what happened. So he basically ended. They had overseeing. They had to for that part where Orlando is, right? Orlando with the Disney that whole. There's a whole development. Disney was in charge of it. They had their own power station. They have their own infrastructure.
Mhm.
So they paid for that infrastructure, which every year they paid for it. But they ran it their way. They got to keep it clean. Everybody who bought houses there.
Mhm.
DeSantis, but because of that, they got some tax breaks because they were building power stations and
Right.
shit. They had water treatment
They
plants.
bring a lot of money to the state.
A shitload.
Mhm.
And DeSantis just ended it. Like so now you don't get to be the what do they call it? The municipality
Yeah.
anymore. And they were like, okay, you just saved us $4
Yeah.
billion
Yeah.
a year, and guess who gets to pay for that $4 billion to keep it
Yeah.
running? The citizens of
Taxpayers,
Florida.
yeah.
Very nice.
He's an
DeSantis.
asshole. By the way, if
Let's
you
end on
want
that.
to see us, Cap City in Austin, and then we'll be with Grandma. So
Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, the lovely Bombshare, the Highlander, and I want to say thank you to Uncle Phillip for being in here. Later.
peace out.
Wait, two more things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about download the specials on ChristopherTitus.com. Make sure you go. And also, if you get the Scream Sanity merch,
Oh,
link
guys.
is underneath
Yeah,
the
if
videos.
you like the, if you're listening or watching the podcast, you do it because we actually try to find a way where you don't feel crazy. So we had these shirts made that say "Scream Sanity" or else "Stupid Wins." Please buy those. We don't ask for any,
A lot of people have written in asking where they are on the website, but they're right underneath us on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, they're
So-
also on the website though,
And
too.
yeah, so
But
just
get
to
them,
make
guys.
it easy.
We don't ask for a Patreon or anything.
Mhm.
We do this because we love doing it and make you laugh every week. So if you can support the podcast, we'd appreciate it. Again, later.
Peace out.
There can be anyone.